Israeli forces have been especially brutal in dealing with anti-occupation protests near the so-called buffer zone along the Gaza Strip. They have shot and killed dozens of Palestinians there over the past weeks. Hundreds of other protesters have been shot and seriously injured. Medics have described their injuries as horrific, warning that many of the wounded Palestinians are likely to suffer from permanent disabilities. There have been several children among those killed during the peaceful demonstrations in Gaza. 14-year-old Muhammad Ibrahim Ayyoub became the fourth child to be killed during the Great March of Return rallies that began in late March. Muhammad was shot in the head by Israeli snipers east of Jabaliya. Israel's use of deadly force against the Palestinians is nothing new, but shocking revelations show Israeli forces are deliberately shooting at children.
Israel is guilty of war crimes, and people have to understand that Gaza Strip itself, the fact that Gaza Strip exists, is a war crime. Just the fact that it's there. This is collective punishment. It's a breach of Article 33 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, and it's a war crime. Everything Israel does against the people of Palestine is a war crime.
During a radio interview, a retired Israeli general has confirmed that the snipers have been given clear and specific orders to target and open fire on children. The former Israeli brigadier general says the snipers identify the small body of children and then pull the trigger.
You know, if there's a policy to shoot children, what does that mean? What for? Why would you want to target innocent children? They can't be seen as combatants. So what this is about really is just targeting any Palestinian. And we've seen even from the Israeli foreign minister a couple of years ago, she suggested that Palestinian women be targeted because they give birth to little snakes. And that's a direct quote from her. So that shows a clear policy. And absolutely, it is a war crime. And it should raise the ire of the entire international community that this is going on.
This is especially outrageous because none of the protesters pose any threat to the heavily armed Israeli forces stationed along the Gaza Strip. The case has once again revealed that the highest levels of the Israeli leadership and the military are actively engaged in atrocities against the Palestinians. Experts believe the retired army general's statements could be used as evidence if Israeli leaders are ever brought to the International Criminal Court. Israel's use of deadly force against protesters in the Gaza Strip has drawn international criticism, but that has done little to force Israel to change course. Israeli violations in the Gaza Strip and across the occupied territories are very much ongoing. For instance, Israel is defiantly building new settlements on Palestinian lands. All Israeli settlements are illegal under international law. But Tel Aviv has used US diplomatic cover to press ahead with its expansionist policies. The continual settlement expansion has even raised questions among Israel's closest allies as to whether Israel wants any kind of agreement with the Palestinians. That was reportedly the subject of a phone call between US President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last year. A media report says Trump asked Netanyahu whether he seriously cared about making peace with the Palestinians.
Bibi doesn't do anything to ensure the peace process will happen. He ensures the conflict will continue because essentially Israel needs the Palestinians there in the state that they are to receive the funding that it gets. It needs to show to the world that it has this terrorist ragtag group of Palestinians at its doorstep that's always threatening them, when it's exactly the opposite. They are provoking the Palestinians by shooting their children, by bulldozing their homes, and ensuring that the Palestinians have no freedom at all.
Observers have warned that Israel's ongoing violations and America's unwavering support leave little hope that Palestinian rights will ever be respected in their own lands.